The GOP is eyeing 2010 and is hoping to win back seats in the House and the Senate. Last night, the party faithful raised more than $14 million for that effort. Going to take more than money, though. Here's former Speaker of the House, Newt Gingrich, who spoke. Take a listen.
I am happy that Dick Cheney is a Republican. I am also happy that Colin Powell is a Republican. A majority Republican Party will have lots of debates within the party. That is the nature of majorities.
Taylor Griffin is a former advisor to John McCain. He's with us this morning, as is Kelly Bingel, a Democratic consultant. Good to see you both. Taylor, first to you. Newt Gingrich, they're making the point that debates within the party can be good. When can they be, and when do they become destructive?
Well, I think that you're in the process of seeing a party that is working to find a message that resonates with American people after a very difficult election. And I think it's starting to find some traction. There are a lot of concerns that Americans have about the amount of spending we're doing here, about the fact that the government is becoming an owner of an automaker and an insurance company, an AIG. And these are all things that I think people are concerned about. They want to hear more about limited government, and I think Republicans are starting to find a voice to deliver that to the American people.
Taylor, we're going to get to the message in just a second. Kelly, I want to ask you, though, there was this hubbub about whether Sarah Palin, the Alaska governor, was going to show, whether she was going to speak, whether she was stepping on Newt Gingrich's toes and all that. It's being set up today as maybe Gingrich is the favorite of the GOP insiders. Palin is the favorite of the outsiders. Who do the Democrats prefer?
Well, I think it's just a perfect example of the disarray that's going on within the Republican Party right now. I mean, they couldn't even decide who was going to speak at their dinner where they were trying to raise money for the Republican Party. If you can't decide who your speaker is, you certainly can't decide what your message to the American people is, and it's very hard to see a resurgence for this party anytime soon. I mean, let's face it, the Republican Party has not had a good day since Jack Abramoff and Mark Foley became household names. They've got a long way to go.
Kelly, hard for you guys to get too confident, though, because it was not very long ago that Democrats were in this similar position, looking for somebody to lead them, and then Barack Obama showed up and rose to the top.
And his popularity right now, latest polls show that the president's popularity is above 60%. So right now, for a party that has no message, it's very hard to see how they claim any new ground in the elections coming up next year.
Taylor,
back to president at 60% favorability. That's pretty good.
Back to that idea of the message. I mean, they certainly tried to hammer home last night that, as you said, the economy is it. Let's take a listen to what Newt Gingrich had to say about that.
This is his plan, and what happened? They promised we would peak at 8% unemployment, and on Friday we were at 9.4%, which is not in their budget, which means their budget is already wrecked.
Talking about the size of government spending, fiscal issues, there is a huge opening there for Republicans. Are they taking advantage of it, Taylor?
I think they are, and I think you're starting to see, you saw that speech from Newt Gingrich last night. You've seen a lot of the House Republicans especially pushing this issue very hard of the economy, the amount of spending. I think that people are really concerned about that. Look, we're talking about $4.2 trillion worth of spending that's already been committed to the financial crisis. Now, clearly this is an unprecedented financial crisis, and we have to do something to make sure that Americans have jobs, that we get the economy back on track. But did the government really need to own this amount of GM? Did we really need to be spending this much money? Barack Obama promised us fiscal responsibility. We're not seeing it in his actions as president. He's failing to rein in his own party. This is a party that is spending more than any government has ever spent, and this is a president who ran on fiscal responsibility. So there's a disconnect there that I think Republicans can take advantage of.
And Kelly, I mean, the polls will tell you that Taylor's right. The president personally is very popular, but there are plenty of concerns about these policies.
Well, the president inherited all of these problems. The president employed a very weak economy. The president inherited 47 million uninsured people. The president inherited huge problems with our climate that we need to address. And so he's taking steps to address each of those problems, and that's what you're seeing the legislative process move forward on health care and on climate change. I think the American people are willing to give him time to get his policies in place. He's 6 months in. His popularity is at 61%, and I think people are willing to give him time to put his ideas forward. And what we saw last night at the Republican dinner party was no new ideas. It was the party of no, the party of criticism, the party of negativity, and that's not what America wants right now. America wants to see a new direction for this country, and that's where President Obama is taking us.
Kelly and Taylor, we're going to have to leave it there. Thanks to you both.
Thank you.